I'll put it into my cute little tin now. So the next one is, let me get these out of the way. The next one that I tried was Paddywaxx. Now Paddywaxx, I have another video about it. I'm going to try not to overlap data, but the Paddywaxx is very, very popular. In my other video, you saw it in its original form. This is the original formula, and the original form is just a simple brick. I have since then, once I decided that I like it, and I will like it / love the original formula, and then I decided to heat up the brick, get it all nice and soft, and then shove it into one of my tins. And it fits great in here and all that. Now, one of the complaints that I had with this one was the scent, because I didn't feel like the scent was advertised quite correctly. I have since found, since I've done this, is that a lot of the scents could have been trapped inside, because this is a very complex scent with high, middle, and low notes and all that. So what I was smelling from the surface was not necessarily what the whole scent was once I smushed all of this in. So now I can smell all the other notes that was in there, and I am much, much happier with this scent. So Black Amethyst, love this scent now, and I'm not sure, maybe I'm also kind of getting used to it. But love, love, love this scent, and it is working well for me. I was having residue issues, and a light touch helps with that. Also, what helps a lot with that is the narrow tip. Because the narrow tip is only on the tippy top, it minimizes the amount of wax that's touching the drill, and so therefore minimizes the residue on there. Now, the original formula is great because it comes in all different scents, and that is important to some people. It does make things a lot more enjoyable. But the one that I love more than this is her super sticky formula. And this, I actually love it so much. I have now purchased more. I have more of it on order now, and I am looking forward to getting that in. And I know that this will, between all my waxes, I have enough to hold me. But when she sends out her product, hers did not come in this tin. This is my tin that I shoved this wax into, right? Same as this container. This was in a little baggie, and it was a sample, the super sticky, and I love that she sent that because I love using it. So this is my most favorite, the least amount of residue, and the strongest. Now, it is important that I get the strongest because I have such a light touch. The stronger it is actually makes it so that I can even do a lighter touch, which increases, I think it increases my accuracy, decreases hand fatigue or whatever, and it's just overall very enjoyable. I just very lightly touch the drill and touch my canvas. It's like, and it does a very nice pop sound. You can almost tell what people are using by the sound of the pop. Now, my biggest tip for the Paddywaxx is to use some kind of a scraper. You can even use a little teaspoon, but this is a tool for grooming, and either end works, but I actually like this little teeny tiny mini spoon end the best. And actually oh, you know what? I was going to show you some drilling. I saved this whole area for it, but I don't think I will now because this video is already getting too long. So anyways, my biggest tip for this, but I did want to show you how to clean out, because sometimes you may need to clean out the wax. Now, I am not even sure that you need to do this with Paddywaxx. You see how I was able, I don't know if you even saw that, but I was able to get this whole line of wax out with one scoop, and it's a rounded tip, So I'm not damaging or stressing out my plastic, because I'm a little bit paranoid about hurting the plastic. I want to make it last as much as possible, which is why I don't want to use a blade for it. Now, if there's some deep in the corners, then that is when I use a needle. And I wish it didn't have the sharp tip, because I don't need the sharp tip. All I need is this very narrow rounded barrel to get into that. And I could take out that sharp tip if I really wanted to. But this tool with the teeny tiny round is actually great for digging out. Now I'm digging this out because one, to show you how I load up the pen, and also I actually have super sticky and original mixed in because is anything sacred with me? No, it's not. I am going to experiment all different things. And I found that, I don't know. Right now, I don't think it's a problem to mix the two. So what I mean by mixing is I will load this up with a super sticky, and then the next time I need to refill, I may just refill with the original. And then the next time I refill, I may just refill with the super sticky. It really doesn't matter to me. But I do like the super sticky more if I really had to get down to it. All right, so you take this tool, and instead of scraping with your pen, or instead of me scraping with my pen, I'm going to scrape with this, just because I think this is a little hardier than the tips on my pen, and I don't want to hurt the tips on my pen. I'm just going to grab a certain amount. Now, there's a few things that happen when you scrape this. I think it equalizes the wax. The wax that is now exposed to air, it is exposed to air on all sides, and it will now be more stable than the core wax in the center. Meaning this core wax might have a higher moisture content than this in my right hand once it is out and exposed to air a little bit, which means that it is a little less gooey for me, and it will therefore leave less residue. Another thing is, I do not have to worry about taking a big hunk of it and sticking this in my bra and trying to warm this whole thing up. When I scrape out these little slivers and I hold it in my hand for a few seconds, it is now completely malleable, and I'm squishing it together because I'm making one uniform, soft, warm mass. All right, and this mass is now very nice to work with, and I can keep this mass to refill. So it's not like I have to sit there and every time I want to refill, I scrape. I could do that, but another thing I could do is scrape up a good chunk of it, one that I think is going to last me for that session. Now look, now I can squish this in, and it's acting more like the wax that we're used to. Very easy to work with, to squish and fill this in, because actually this is getting very warm now in my hand. And after this, I'll let it sit and let it cool down a bit, because it's somewhere in the middle that it does its best work. That is its true self. I think I run hot. So I think that this is, see how I have a little bit left? Now I will continue to use this little bit when I refill as I go along on my project. All right, so that was how I dug out all of the old wax, and now I loaded it back up. I think that that scraping is going to eliminate a lot of people's problems with temperature and working with it and all that. It'll also save your tips from prematurely getting dented or whatever, because that wax, the core wax, especially in a big hunk like that, it can be very, very hard. All right, so push this in, scrape it off to one side, scrape it off to the other side. Now, once I have this loaded up, oh, and you may have noticed that I am using the super sticky in my multiplacer. I love using it in my multiplacer. You know, a lot of people are saying don't ever, including the maker, the inventor maker Robin from Paddywaxx. They all say do not use it in your multiplacer because it does not work. I use it in my multiplacer and I think it is amazing in my multiplacer. And my other video does show that. I have a video called how I use my Paddywaxx super sticky in my multiplacer. But okay, here's mine. So now the same thing. I am going to pre-squish. Do you hear that pop? Pre-squish. All right, so now you see that little excess that came out? Yep, that is to be expected. And this would have been residue on my drill. So I am happy to give it that chance to go ahead and come out now. Like all waxes that would like to squish out now, please raise your hand and step forward. All right, so now should I place some? All right, fine. I am going to place some just so that you guys know I am not lying. And I actually do love using this. Oh, another tip, a curved tip small hemostat. This is the size of it. It is the best thing for grabbing out stuck drills. Tweezers, this is 5 inches long. Tweezers will be perfectly good, and I have good tweezers here from Star Ore. Star Ore is also the company that makes those narrow multi-tips. So definitely I like this company a lot. But these tweezers are actually very good. They work very well at grabbing the drills when they're loose, and they're especially, oh, Star Ore sold this kit with this larger boat and the tweezer together. So very good at grabbing drills, all right? Very quick and easy grabbing drills. Not so great at grabbing drills that are already stuck onto the canvas, especially with the Diamond Art Club canvas. The glue is actually very, very strong. Very, very strong. In fact, some of the drills that have already been sitting on here for days, I went back and poked at them, and they, oh my gosh, they feel solid on there. So then something like this that has a little teeth on the inside, it is curved, so I can actually lay it flat and go into deep little spots. Very, very accurate, very good. The other tip that I had, sorry, I'm trying to throw in some more tips for you. This pad, I have shown it before. It's just a sticky pad, and the sticky pad gives my plastic boat a little more substance. And also resists sliding around. I use this coaster, this wood coaster, that this plastic does not stick onto. And also this one, if I have enough drills laying on there, I can use this on top. and not have to worry. If you just had the plastic boat without this, you could do that with that as well. But since I am leaving this on permanently on there, then I do need something, and I like the solid. I just like the solid feel. It's more of a thunk 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 when I grab my drills. Show you one last thing before I zoom in. Now that I'm using a 4-placer, I'm sorry, this video is just going to be long. I don't want to split it up. You can always pause and come back to sections later. You can rewind, all that. That's the beauty of video. But I have another video showing how I make all of my drills line up. But it gets, and then you can either do the shake over way, or you can also tap from the top, and then you have a whole bunch that are laying nicely. And if you're bored or you need a little more get closer to each other by shaking over to the left. I don't worry about it too much because the way that I do this, it's going to be fine either way. All right, so the plastic ends right here, and so I am going to use this, my little coaster, and right there. I want to have my drills as close as possible to my work area, and I do have enough drills here that's going to hold the whole thing up. Okay, now I need my drill pen, and we have a big section over here. Let me see if I need to zoom in a little. I like to work vertically, so I'm going to turn it this way because my hand is over this way. I'm going to look for a 4-place where, can you guys see this? Yes, okay. And there we go. Very non-dramatic. It seemed like the reason people, including Robin from Paddywaxx, was saying to not use the super sticky in the, okay, so one of the center ones came out a little bit, and so I'm just going to re-squish and re-flatten. And what happens is as you go along, it really does settle in. And then you really, so the first few that you set, once you first load it up, it might misbehave a little bit. Like there's one left over. But then as you go along and as you re-squish, then it actually works really well. And right now there is no real residue that I'm finding out. Sometimes when, okay, the other thing is that I am standing and I'm at an angle and I'm trying not to bump the camera, so don't judge entirely by this. All right, so now I have a bunch of, what are these? These are 2-placers, and I can very easily grab just 2. And I like to do a rolling action. So I'll touch down. It's very easy for me to figure out where to touch down and then roll it on to really make sure that I'm getting it. Now I hadn't been doing that because I'm standing up and over. I'm working while I'm standing, but I don't have a lot of room here, and that's why I was having that problem where not all of them were sticking. Where else can you see right now? I think it'll be easier if I move this over. There we go. You guys can see this whole thing over here. So once I changed from, okay, now the other thing is I have this whole thing exposed. So I have nowhere to lay down the palm of my hand. So I am just going to use this is my left hand, my right hand is holding the pen. Just going to use my left hand to help steady touch down, roll across. So I don't even know if I finished my last sentence. Paddywaxx was saying not to use the super sticky on a multiplacer because they were saying that it is too sticky, it is too strong, it will not release the beads, and it, you know, so therefore it's not going to work. I'm going to go the other way now, because when I have a bead already there at the top, I like to butt up against the bead and then work out that way. But as you can see, this is a 4-placer, and I'm not having that problem with it releasing at all. Now, is it because I'm rolling? Is it because I'm having a light touch? Is it because I scraped? I used a scraping method and scraped so that all of that wax got exposed to air, therefore minimizing the moisture content, possibly therefore making it less gooey. And then I squished that whole thing into my hand until I made one solid uniform mass. Is it because I am also using a narrow tip, which reduces the surface area that is in contact with the wax? Probably a combination of all of these things. But the point remains that I can very easily, very accurately, oops, I messed up grabbing this, so now I have a 3. Yes, I have a 3 over here. There we go. Now how I'm grabbing from the boat, can you see this? Okay, it's going to be a little bit dark, but grabbing it from the boat, I start on one end and I roll it up. Okay, same thing. Can you see this over here? Now, the other thing is, remember, if you have ones way over, they're scattered on the tray. What can you see? Let's see. Okay, what about this? So I want to grab 4 of them. Here's 1, here's 2, 3, 4. Okay, go ahead and slide and chase after these guys. I think that's part of my fun too, is seeing what I can go and capture and organize. So that was 2. Ooh, I even had to chase that one a little bit. Oh, there's a cat hair. The other thing that I can do is I can grab 3 over here and then come back and grab, oops, a 4th one. So it doesn't, you don't have to worry too much about getting it all, like, you don't have to shake these forever, trying to make sure that they all are butting up just perfectly against each other like that. It doesn't have to be like that at all. They can be separate like this, and you just scoop them up. Just follow this track and scoop them up. So it takes out a lot of stress. Okay, don't have to worry about it. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so I think those are all of my tips. A lot of people work in sections at a time. They will block off sections and do it that way. I don't like to do that. I like to just go by color at a time. That is, if you look at my kitting up, then you kind of see why. And it's just easier for me. It's how my brain works. When I do a color, I want to chase down all the colors that I can, and not let up until I've satisfied that, and then I go on to the next. Trying to think. Okay, I am pretty sure that there are more tips that I have missed, but I think these are a lot of the main ones. I'll try to make shorter videos in the future, but if there are any questions, you see how my, oops, I can't see much at all. Okay, what about if I come down here? You can see my left hand. All it takes is for my left hand to have one finger touching the other hand, and both arms are completely free floating, so to say. Actually, no, my left hand is resting on the desk. So my left hand over here is resting on the desk, and my right hand is completely free floating up from the shoulder. And all I do is touch, one touch, and that steadies me enough because I can lean into that to touch down. And that is how, and then I do try to work from the outside into the center as much as I can. So yeah, you can see it much better when I do it this way. So at this point I have laid a bunch of drills, and the wax in my pen is now actually working flawlessly. And that's what I've discovered happens. The very first time you load up, it might try to misbehave, but as you go along, like to this point now, it is perfect. Got a single one over here. Love that pop. That pop is addicting. Got a 2 over here. Place that one down. All right, so there you go. I hope that this was helpful. If there are any questions, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Any other topics you would like to see? Any, let's see, any topics you'd like to see? Anything like you'd like, just whatever. Just, you know, go ahead. Please leave your comments. I'd love to hear what you think, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye guys.